Let me close with some thoughts about the outlook for policy and politics. The political environment changed dramatically with the November 2010 election, with a 6-seat swing in the Senate and a 64-seat swing in the House in the Republicans' favor. Civility is a goal, but it's clear that this is a high-friction environment. New bipartisan legislative proposals will be difficult, given that the election only further hardened partisan sentiment. So this will be a difficult environment in which to legislate. But that said, the politics of nuclear energy have actually improved. The Obama administration continues to support expansion of nuclear energy in the United States and around the world. Nuclear power enjoys bipartisan support in Congress, as we saw last year with the Kerry-Lieberman climate bill in the Senate, which contained an extremely favorable nuclear title. It's worth noting that shortly after the midterm election, President Obama, Speaker Boehner, and Senate Minority Leader McConnell singled out nuclear energy as an issue on which they all agree, an area for common ground in energy policy. In his State of the Union address a few weeks ago, President Obama challenged Congress again to support the deployment of clean energy technologies, including nuclear energy. The President's pragmatic approach should foster constructive bipartisan discussions in the Congress regarding energy. While energy legislation faces an uncertain future, when it eventually does occur, the indicators are that it will be favorable from a nuclear energy perspective. The industry's policy and political agenda for the 112th Congress and administration is consistent with our long-term objectives. In 2009, the administration nominated 3 qualified candidates for open seats on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and all 3 were confirmed last year. I cannot overstate the importance of this. A credible and effective regulatory agency is essential to maintaining political and public confidence, and a full slate of commissioners brings greater regulatory effectiveness and predictability. Commissioner Ostendorf's term expires this year, and Commissioner Savinicki's term next year. Given the importance of a 5-member commission for regulatory predictability and continuity, we are advocating to see them both renominated and confirmed this year. As I mentioned earlier, we must ensure that the loan guarantee program is a workable financing platform. Nuclear projects in regulated states will move forward, as we've just heard, given appropriate state support, but merchant nuclear projects require credit support from the federal government. We will need additional loan volume and a rational, transparent process for calculating loan guarantee costs. Loan guarantees are a tremendous efficient way to mobilize private capital. Properly administrated and priced, the program can leverage tens of billions of dollars of private investment and produce hundreds of millions of dollars in fees for the federal government. A workable loan guarantee program combined with effective export trade policy will create thousands of jobs during construction and operation and manufacturing, and will support the rejuvenation and expansion of our national infrastructure to manufacture components for the U.S. and the global market. We also know the House will focus on oversight of major administration initiatives. NEI expects oversight of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and the Department of Energy. Our goal in oversight is to ensure that the process is directed towards constructive change. We also expect oversight of the used fuel program, particularly the Obama administration's termination of the Yucca Mountain project in Nevada and its attempt to withdraw the license application filed with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. As you know, the administration created a Blue Ribbon Commission to evaluate the nation's used fuel policy and develop recommendations on how to restructure the back end of the nuclear fuel cycle and create a sustainable used fuel management program. The Commission is a distinguished group chaired by former Congressman Lee Hamilton and former National Security Advisor General Brent Scowcroft. It has been meeting for almost a year and has until March of next year to issue its final recommendations. Although we don't support termination of the Yucca Mountain project and believe that the licensing work should continue, we have long believed that the government's overall used fuel program should be restructured. So we are working to influence the congressional oversight process and the Blue Ribbon Commission's review to support what we believe is a common sense strategy that the industry has proposed for several years now. We believe we should have interim storage. Certainly it's going to be at the plant sites, but also at centralized storage locations. We believe there should be research and technology development focused on closing the nuclear fuel cycle to obtain additional energy from the used fuel and reduce the volume and toxicity of the waste byproduct. We believe that we need to ultimately go to a permanent disposal facility, and we also advocate the creation of a federal corporation to assume responsibility for used fuel management from the Department of Energy.